Hello and welcome to the 9th episode of the BAE Sports Podcast. I am Baylor, paired along with Aaron and Ethan as always. It's the age-old question, how are y'all doing today? Dead air. Okay,
All
I don't know
right.
why
Ethan,
I
go
bother
first.
asking.
Do I always
Ethan,
have to go first?
Why is
how
it
was your
me?
Friday?
Because it's
I mean, you
alphabetical, right?
can. Yeah, it's alphabetical, and I ask, so it's like, I'm doing good. I'm in a good mood. Aaron, how are you doing? I should say names then,
Sleepy,
I guess.
man. I'm sleepy.
Sleepy. Ethan, how are you doing
I'm
today?
the opposite. I got to sleep in for my first class, and I got homemade coffee, and I'm ready to hear you guys trash my favorite players. So let's get the show on the road,
I,
right?
yeah, I agree. Week 1 of the NFL is now over. It is Friday. I always forget to say the date. It is Friday, September 16th at 4:28 p.m. This is the first time we've recorded before 9 o'clock. We
Yeah.
always record late, but we're all busy bees. We got a lot to do this weekend. We need to get this episode out before games on Sunday. So we decided we're going to record kind of in the afternoon. Kind of a weird setup, not my normal setup. I am in Edmond at my parents' house tonight. So that's why the lighting's not great. It's never great though, if we're being honest. All right, so week 1 just concluded. We had a lot of good football, and here we're going to discuss our week 1 NFL takeaways. And then Ethan's got a fun college coach story that we'll do after the takeaways.
Okay.
So first, okay, you want to say something, Ethan?
I have only watched one game, and that was Thursday Night Football with you guys. I know one thing that happened, and that was the end of Monday Night Football because I saw it on Twitter. But other than that, I have no idea what happened week 1 of NFL.
Then you're going to find out right
Yeah,
now.
I want you guys. I'm gonna find out everything you guys tell me pretty much on the spot, so you get a live Ethan reaction
Aaron, let's
to all this stuff.
just lie to him the whole time.
Okay, I believe you
Okay.
guys.
First off, what I would say is one of my biggest NFL takeaways, a question that fans have been debating on over the past few years. How good really is Justin Jefferson? Last year, he was only in his second season, so a lot of people weren't ready to put him number 1. A lot of people weren't even ready to put him top 5 yet. But I think with his resume and what he did on Sunday Football against the Green Bay Packers, going for 158 receiving yards and 2 receiving touchdowns in one half. I watched that game. He was making that Packers secondary look like college players. I am confident to say that Justin Jefferson right now is my number 1 receiver in the NFL. And that's not just because I'm a Vikings fan. I try and let my takes be unbiased as possible. I really believe that Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in the league. Before this season, I had him at 2 and I had Devontae Adams at 1. But I'm confident in saying Justin Jefferson is the best receiver right now, and he's my pick for offensive player of the year.
I think I can agree with you, and it's like Jefferson was successful without the Kevin O'Connell system, so this really solidifies his actual talent. Like now he's just thriving with O'Connell's system. What did he have, 184 yards at the end of the game?
It was something around that. Well, after the second half, the Vikings were up a lot, so they didn't need to use him as much because they were just ground and pound. They didn't really need. They used him so much in the first half that they didn't really need to prioritize giving him touches in the second half.
Yeah, but as we speak about Jefferson, my week 1 takeaway is that the Vikings are actually the real deal, and Kirk Cousins he could be an MVP candidate this year.
Ooh,
I think Baylor.
I like
Baylor
it. I
agrees.
like that.
Are you trying to date Baylor or something? What's going on here?
No,
No,
we're already
okay.
dating. We're
It's
already
the
dating.
It's
Oh,
Kevin
well, why didn't I know
O'Connell.
about this?
We're keeping
Yes,
it a
it's-
secret. Kevin O'Connell is such a mastermind of a offensive schemer. He made that amazing offensive scheme in LA where Cooper Kupp had the greatest receiver season of all time, and Justin Jefferson is a more talented receiver than Kupp. He has a lot more potential than Kupp. And with someone like Kirk, who's a good game manager quarterback, I think Kirk is a fine quarterback. I wouldn't call him top 10. He could definitely play like a top 10 quarterback, but I wouldn't call him top 10. I think this offense can really thrive. And I mean, you look at what they added in during the offseason. Bill defensive tackle Harrison Phillips, Packers edge rushers Zadarius Smith, and they retained Patrick Peterson. They kept Daniil Hunter. This defense is also incredibly legit. Rodgers didn't throw a single touchdown on this defense. He had an interception. Rodgers was a 2-time MVP, and they embarrassed him in week 1. You could argue that, it's just the Packers start off weak, like last year when they played the Saints, and then they were the number 1 seed in the NFC, and Rodgers won one MVP, not a Super Bowl, because Rodgers doesn't win no Super Bowls. But I think this Vikings team is pretty legit. Like, you got a legit offense, you got a legit defense. Hey, I mean, Greg Joseph, the kicker, who was a problem 2 years ago, he looked incredibly well. I don't think he missed a kick all game on Sunday.
But yeah, O'Connell's going to pretty much maximize Jefferson's talent like he did with Cooper Kupp. And if Kirk can just play a little bit above average every week, they could probably win the North, which is not a usual thing since Aaron Rodgers is in the NFC North. But, I mean, they just need to stay healthy, Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen. If they can stay healthy, they could probably take it all the way. Maybe this year or 2 to 3 years, it's pretty guaranteed.
Really happy that the Vikings decided to just clean house with head coach and general manager and decided to keep Kirk for a year to see what he could do. Because as much as I love Kirk, I was kind of ready for, hey, can the Vikings get a new guy? Is it possible a new guy in and see what he can do with this team? Because ever since Kirk's been there, they have not been able to basically do anything. They have one playoff win with Kirk Cousins. But now you see this team and you see, this team is actually like legit. They can compete. Kirk's not making mistakes. They have the best receiver in football. They've got a great run game. The offensive lines looked incredibly improved as well. Christian Darrisaw, the rookie left tackle from last year, was looking incredible against Rashawn Gary, or really anyone the Packers threw at him. And he was kind of a problem last year with his injuries, as well as him just not developing well. But he's looking like he could be a solid left tackle. With Brian O'Neill being one of the best right tackles in the league, if this interior offensive line is just average or slightly above average, you could see this being one of the best offensive lines in football. Speaking of offensive lines and how they help a team, this Giants offensive line, I'm glad they know how to do their job, because Saquon Barkley is back, baby. Saquon Barkley 3 years ago was the best running back in football. And all these injuries and the line have derailed his career. But now he is back. The offensive line looked good. He looked incredible. He was averaging 9 yards a carry. Last year he had a game where he averaged 1 point something yards a carry. Yes, Ethan.
Is he still on the Giants?
Yes,
Yeah.
He's still on the
Okay.
Giants. He rushed for. I have the stats pulled up right here. Let's see.
I feel like I
rushed
got him
for-
confused
I
with
got rid
Odell.
of stats. Start talking.
I got him confused with Odell. I was like, is he on the Browns
9.
now?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Odell's not even on the Browns right now either.
Okay, but
Saquon had
who's the
Saquon
mid
had 18 carries.
2010s? We keep talking over each other, and I'm gonna let the guy who has no idea what he's talking about keep talking, which is me. I got him confused
Okay.
with Odell because mid 2010s Giant star, got him confused with Odell.
It's kind of weird having the limited knowledge you do, Ethan, with wanting to be on a football pod. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No. Look,
You know more.
I
know more
represent
college stuff than me and
the
Aaron
average person,
combined.
right?
Yeah, you're the average person.
Yeah.
He's the he's our. I'm trying to think of a. I don't know.
I'm
just
a
gonna
moron.
go back.
Don't worry about it.
Back in his. We love you though, Ethan. Back into Saquon. Saquon had 18 carries for 164 yards and a touchdown, averaging 9.1 yards a carry. And he was also the team's leading receiver with 6 receptions for 30 yards. He also had a 2-point conversion that led the Giants to beating the former number 1 seeded in the AFC Tennessee Titans. I think this is a great indication that Saquon is back, the injuries are behind him, and he's ready to be the best running back in the league. Right now, if I had to say who the best running back in the league is, Saquon's not far off number 1. Henry didn't look good, which I predicted. I said Henry's getting old. He had surgery. He has metal in his knee. He didn't look good in the playoffs last year when he came back, and he looked really not good this week. Christian McCaffrey's been riddled with injuries, and yeah, Christian McCaffrey had a great game, but are we really going to trust this when what's the last 2 years happened with him just being belittled? I guess you could say the same for Saquon. Nick Chubb's still good, Cook's still good, but do we really know who the number one running back in the league right now is? If I were to put money on who the best running back in the league would be for the rest of the season, I mean, Saquon's not far off. I think he'll finish as second or third, maybe fourth, maybe even first in rushing yards this year. I'm just really happy to see Saquon back. He's probably my favorite running back in the league. Loved the guy since college. One of the very few players, Ethan, that I actually watched in college. You know me. I'm not much of a college guy, but
Yeah. No, he
I
was
watched
big
him in
at Penn
college.
State. I remember that.
Oh, he was awesome. And
Yeah.
seeing him go number 2 overall as a running back is crazy.
Mhm.
And if he stayed this good and this healthy the entire career, it would have looked like a good pick. But we look back on it with Josh Allen being in that draft, Lamar Jackson being in that draft, where the Giants needed a quarterback after Eli Manning, and you look at it as it's a bad pick. It's nothing on Saquon. It's that you just don't take a running back at 2, especially when you have a draft with motherfucking Josh Allen in it. Speaking of, though, players that I enjoyed in college, I was watching some highlights of some old college games to live what Ethan was saying about the energy and how good a college game can actually be. And I was watching some OU versus Kansas, I think 2017. Was it 2017?
Was that Baker Mayfield or who's the quarterback?
It was Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
it was
I remember
the game
that.
where the Jayhawks refused to
Mhm.
to shake hands with Baker Mayfield. But this isn't my takeaway with Baker Mayfield. It's just a segue.
Mhm.
Aaron had a very interesting takeaway from Baker Mayfield's game against his former team, the Cleveland Browns.
How did he do?
He did all right. He had 2 touchdowns and I think a rushing touchdown. But if you
Okay.
actually watch the game, he just
Yeah.
looks like classic Baker from the
Ah.
Browns. He still looks average. I really thought, I mean, it's only week 1, but just watching the game, he looks the exact same. And Matt Rule's coaching is not going to improve Baker Mayfield at all. But
No, Matt Rule is not a great coach.
Yeah, he's just not good.
Do you know how
So-
funny as a college guy that is? Because like he was
What?
pretty good
Oh,
in
yeah.
He
college.
was an amazing. I
But
am a Baylor
yeah.
fan. You know that. I liked him when he was at Baylor. He went to Carolina, and I'm like, holy garbage. He is garbage.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
it's bad. Baker didn't have 2 touchdowns. Baker was 16 for 27, 235 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. But it's like they lost by 2 against a team that Jacoby Brissett was the quarterback. That doesn't really have a good team besides like Myles Garrett. I do think Baker is not the guy in Carolina, but the problem is, why aren't you giving Matt Corral a chance then? Why is Baker the only one I'm seeing get snaps in practice and in preseason and in camp? He was the only person getting snaps.
What are his
Sam Darnold's hurt,
receivers?
and the only other guy is Matt Corral. The Panthers
Corral's out.
receivers.
Yeah.
He's out for the
Panthers.
season.
Corral's out for the season?
Yeah. I think
What?
they announced it like during the preseason. I think something with his Achilles or his heel. I don't know.
Damn, shows how much I know.
Who are the receivers on Carolina?
Yeah, I take it back. You're right. He is. DJ Moore,
Robbie
Robbie
Anderson,
Anderson,
Really?
and
who's
Terrence Marshall.
the LSU guy? Terrence Marshall, yeah.
Okay,
Uh,
so
I guess Baker is the quarterback for the rest of the year, basically.
Who's
but
he-
I just don't.
supposed to be throwing to here.
DJ Moore.
More.
Robbie Anderson had a good game though.
Yeah,
Robbie
he had a great
Anderson,
game.
He had a pretty good game, but it's just like you have to beat this Browns team. When it's a revenge game, you have to beat them.
Yeah.
You have to, especially when you talk the confidence that Baker did when he said, "What, I'm gonna fuck them up." Is that what he said?
He said that was a fake quote. He debunked it.
Was it a fake quote?
He
It's very
said,
Baker. It's a very
Great job,
Baker.
journalist Baylor.
I wasn't. Well, I'm just saying. I was asking, is that what he said? Because it does sound like something Baker would say. But when you're like this cocky guy like Baker, and like you have a revenge game, and you have to like prove yourself, he didn't really do that. I thought he was going to throw 4 touchdowns, but he threw 1 and had an interception. And just didn't all around just had a mediocre game. Speaking of other quarterbacks who had a mediocre game in a revenge game, this isn't one of my takes, but I think we should talk about it. The Broncos versus the Seahawks. Russ's revenge game, and he absolutely folded. He
Oh
got
my
outplayed by Geno
God.
Smith.
The one
Geno
game I
completed-
saw.
Geno completed like 20 passes in a row or something. Like Geno's stat line from that game is actually crazy. And I think the crowd had so much. This game proved to me that like the Seahawks have the best stadium. It's like it's the hardest place to play in the NFL. That 12th man is serious. You could see the energy was just disrupting the Broncos so much. They had so many penalties. I'm gonna look up how many penalties they actually had in the game, but it was insane. They were getting in Russ's head, and Russ played like garbage. He really did. They fumbled two in the red zone twice. Russ had a bad interception. It was awful. And I think the Broncos are still going to be a pretty good team, and I don't think the Seahawks are great at all. But again, like in revenge games like that, you gotta bring it. And Russ didn't bring it. Aaron,
He
what
wasn't
did you see
that
from
bad.
What did you see from it?
Russ was not that bad. It was more of the running backs that kept fumbling over and over. But he had this 70-yard touchdown to Jerry Jeudy. That was
Yeah,
that was a
that
bad
was
throw.
pretty
Did you
good.
see that? That was a
What?
bad throw. He underthrew it. He moonballed it, and it was so short, so Jerry Jeudy had to stop. I
My
don't know.
stream was lagging hella when that play happened. So it kind of
Really.
kept cutting in. I was like, on the touchdown.
I mean, he wasn't terrible. I just think Nathaniel Hackett is kind of
Oh my
stupid.
God. Yeah, I was like, okay, on Nathaniel. I was like, we'll see what happens because he's the Packers offensive coordinator with fucking Aaron Rodgers. But I guess it's Aaron Rodgers and the coordinator doesn't matter because Nathaniel Hackett is dumb. Going for it on 4th and 5 was what they should have done. Instead of kicking what would have been the second longest field goal of all time with Brandon McManus. Like they should not have kicked that at all.
Maybe he could have gotten it in Denver, but in Seattle, that's insane call.
Not in Seattle with that crowd. Like no way.
Yeah,
I mean,
They
he
should
was
have went for it.
barely off.
You have Russell Wilson, a quarterback that you're paying I think $45 million a year or something, and you're not willing to go for it for the game. You're willing to kick a field goal.
well, that's a really good point that Aaron made. That like, you wonder if in Denver they were watching him rocket those 65-yard field goals because of the elevation, and then they go to Seattle and they're like, well, our kicker could kick like 70-yard field goals, and then they forget they're at sea level. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
Broncos Nation,
let's ride. Let's
Left.
hope. I hope that it's it's an okay situation going forward because I like Russell Wilson. I like the Broncos, but holy fuck, is Nathaniel Hackett just absolutely brain dead?
Baylor, do you know
Next,
Ghetto Gronk?
Ghetto Gronk.
Like the
You're
meme
not-
page on
Yeah, I do.
Instagram? They said Broncos country left wide because the field goal, bro.
I saw that.
It was so bad.
That's good. That's good. Well, transitioning from two quarterbacks that had very poor revenge games. This isn't a revenge game, but Patrick Mahomes absolutely lit up the Cardinals. Now I remember somebody thought the Cardinals were going to win. They bet against Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I guess I did the same thing with this Thursday night football game. I picked the Chargers, but the Cardinals, Ethan, you picked the Cardinals. Mahomes absolutely dominated in that game against the Cardinals.
How did Kyler
proving
do?
why.
That's all I care about. How did
Okay,
Kyler
well,
do?
we'll go to Kyler was 22 for 34, 193 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and he had 5 carries for 29 yards. He was okay,
Okay.
but Mahomes, man, I've been saying Mahomes is still the best quarterback in the league. Last year he had an off year, and he was still incredible. People are like, oh, Rodgers is better, Herbert's better, Allen's better, Brady's better. Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. I don't think once he won MVP, he didn't stop being the best quarterback in the league. It doesn't matter this season. He talent-wise is the best quarterback in the league. He went 30 for 39, 360 yards, 5 touchdowns, no picks. Mahomes is still that guy, and he proved it last night too. Mahomes had an amazing game last night against the Chargers, who I think have one of the better defenses in the league. And he's doing that with his wide receiver one being Juju Smith-Schuster. Like, that's absolutely incredible. I was looking at the stats yesterday. Travis Kelce led the team interceptions, but it wasn't that he just carried the game. He led the team in receptions, and then the next 2 guys were guys I'd never heard of. Patrick Mahomes is the new Brady. He can throw to no names and just have the best game of all time. Aaron, who do you think Mahomes is still QB1?
I mean, I do think he's QB1 for now, but it's like Mahomes looks so good on paper, and his stats is like He has 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions so far in 2 games. But watching last night, he had like about 3 dropped interceptions to Asante Samuel. So he's kind of getting bailed out by the refs, penalties, whatnot. So I wouldn't say he's as good as we're making him sound, but he's QB1 for me right now too.
Okay. On a separate note, actually, no, we'll get to that in a second.
Before we leave that game, how did Hollywood Brown play?
Yeah, he got a touchdown.
Yes. See,
But only three receptions.
Okay, I just want
Ethan, just
Tyler,
watch Cardinals games. You need to be a Cardinals fan. Just watch Cardinals games.
You really want me to be a Cardinals fan?
Yeah.
Do you want me to pick up
Be a fan of
smoking?
a team. Watch more NFL.
Do you want me to smoke meth?
Watch more NFL.
That would be better for my
Like,
health than being a Cardinals fan.
Like Aaron's probably a Cowboys fan because he likes all the the criminal
Look at him.
players, and that's all the Cowboys have. I'm joking. Watson Legion.
Yeah, there we go. Watson Legion, let's
Ew.
go.
Oh my God.
I need a massage.
Jesus Christ. I think the only other people you could debate who I think are the top 3 quarterbacks in the league right now are Herbert and Allen. And
Agreed.
I want to touch on Herbert a little bit because he's fucking cyborg. I don't think he's human. Like, he's made some of the best throws I've seen in a long time in just 2 games of this season. And did you see he broke his ribs, got
Fractured
off,
it, yeah.
checked them, got back in, and probably threw pass of the year. That 40-yard bomb that led to a touchdown drive. Like, he's the new Matthew Stafford, but a better quarterback.
And sexier because his long hair.
Oh, most definitely. If we had to rank all the quarterbacks in the league on their attractiveness, Herbert's probably number 2.
Who's number 1?
Who would be number 1?
Brady's
No,
handsome.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
All right, Garoppolo, Brady.
Objectively, no, I'd say Herbert's over Brady. I'd say
It's because Herbert's
Garoppolo.
younger.
We're
Jimmy's
changing our
1.
name from BAE Sports to Gay Sports.
Gay sports. Jimmy's 1. There's nothing gay about about calling a man handsome. There's nothing gay about it.
There's nothing.
I'd say Jimmy's 1, Herbert's 2, Brady can be 3, I guess. For his age, Brady looks, like the TB12 diet, the avocado ice cream, or whatever he eats,
what?
man. He eats avocado ice cream or something. He doesn't eat bread. I saw an interview where he doesn't eat bread. I was like, imagine not eating bread.
I'm pretty sure Brady got face work done.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think he did over the offseason. I mean, he has the money to afford it, so go for it, man. Go for it, I guess.
He's about to get a divorce anyway, so.
I saw that his marriage is not doing amazing right now.
It's
but
not.
I mean, he's the GOAT. It's like
he's
the
married
GOAT,
to the
so.
game.
He's married to the game.
He needs to divorce the game. I'm sick of seeing him play.
Honestly, I had that mindset a couple years ago. Now I'm just like, I want to see how long he can play.
I don't care.
It's
I
not
really
last
don't. I really don't. I'd rather see a different quarterback play. I've seen
You would?
enough of Brady. He's won 8 billion Super Bowls. Who cares?
Yeah.
Damn.
Speaking of something that we care about, I don't know, a really good transition from this one into the next one.
Brady played the Cowboys.
Okay,
last week.
yeah. Aaron thinks that someone on the Cowboys is not very good.
It better not be Ceedee Lamb.
Will this ruin your day, Ethan?
My day's already been ruined with the Kyler slander.
All right, it is
Drink your
Ceedee
coffee.
Lamb.
Drink your coffee.
Ceedee Lamb is a borderline elite receiver. He's not elite yet, but he's borderline. Just because, he's a Cowboy. We got to hate on him, but
That's not really slander then. If you're saying he's borderline.
for Ceedee Lamb, everyone thinks he's top 10 this year. Baylor, you thought he was going to be top 10. You drafted him your second round of fantasy.
Yeah, because I thought he was going to be top 10, not a top 10 receiver, top 10 in fantasy. There's a huge difference between, I made a video about this last year. There's a huge difference in being elite fantasy player and elite because it's about situation, matchups. There's so much to fantasy where I don't like to use fantasy as a testament. I drafted Ceedee Lamb over guys who I thought are better receivers, like Mike Evans or A.J. Brown, but it's because I thought about the fantasy production. And now he doesn't have Dak, so it looks like a stupid pick, and I had Saquon on the board, and I didn't draft him. But, Aaron, so you say he's a borderline elite receiver. So where do you think he would rank? possibly top
I would
10, top 15.
not top 10, top 15, and that's
Because
you could call that
top
disrespectful.
15.
You could
I
call that
want to.
disrespectful.
I have a list of receivers here, and I want you to tell me who you would rather have right now, Ceedee Lamb or them. So don't think about age or experience, or just who you would have. And
Okay.
then I'm gonna write down how many receivers you'd rather have than Ceedee Lamb.
All right,
Devontae Adams,
Devontae Adams,
Justin Jefferson,
Justin Jefferson,
Cooper Kupp,
Cooper Kupp,
Tyreek Hill,
Tyreek Hill,
Stephon Diggs,
Diggs. This is
AJ Brown.
easy. AJ Brown.
Well, I just gotta get the list down, and then we'll get to the tough ones. A tough one, Mike Evans.
That's tough.
Well,
Mike
I'm
Evans.
just saying it might be. I definitely think
Mike
it's Mike Evans. Like
Yes.
3 years ago, I said Mike Evans was a top 5 receiver. So, Jamar Chase. I'm gonna assume you picked Jamar Chase.
Yes.
Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas.
Terry McLaurin.
Harry McLaurin.
DK Metcalf.
DK.
Wow, you do not like CD. All right, this is DeAndre Hopkins.
Hopkins.
Deebo
I don't have to be
Samuel.
here for this.
Debo.
Well, you can. Ethan's just. I just realized one of Ethan's favorite players is just getting absolutely slandered. Okay, let's see how many I have right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This is like the one that I think is like the one that you're gonna actually have debate over. Keenan Allen.
Oh, Keenan Allen. That's no
Oh
debate.
my god. Oh my
There's-
god. I'm the biggest. I think I'm a Keenan Allen hater. I don't know
I
why.
love Keenan Allen.
I would have CD higher. I would have CD. So
Really?
that puts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That puts CD at 15. But I'm gonna name a couple. I'm gonna name 3 more guys, and we're gonna
Hold
see
on.
that I think could be in that spot. That puts CD at 15 for you.
Keenan
But
Allen, he had 3 straight seasons of 100+ receptions. How is he not better than Ceedee Lamb? Ceedee Lamb is inconsistent.
CD Lamb's early in the league. It's like this is his 3rd year in the
I
league.
know.
4th year
But
in the league. Okay.
Keenan Allen's doing this at like
Okay,
40 years old.
Okay. I'm
All right,
going to name a couple more guys, and I want to see if CD's top 15 because this puts him at 15. And there's a couple guys that you could make an argument for. T. Higgins.
Ooh, that one's a tough one.
They're from the same draft class, right? They're from the same draft class.
I haven't
Yeah,
watched
they're
too
both
much.
They're both from 2019. I think they're from the same draft class.
Hey, I have the draft pulled up. They're from 2020,
2020. Okay.
or at least Lamb is.
No, I think they're both 2020.
Yeah, they are. Yes.
T. Higgins or CD.
This one is like pretty even for me. T. Higgins can like destroy in big moments. I mean, the Super Bowl touchdown on Jalen Ramsey, that was huge. CD, I just haven't. A CD, it's like you can stuff him the ball, he'll do great numbers, but I just don't know about like insane talent. I think it's like
So you
even
pick-
for now.
Sorry, are you pick? So it's a push on that one.
Yeah, it's a draw.
Okay. Michael Pittman Jr.
Michael Pittman looks good.
Are you picking MPJ?
It's just so difficult because of name value nowadays. It's like you're so
Yeah,
used to
I
CeeDee Lamb.
guess.
But Michael Pittman, I don't think I've seen CD put up Michael Pittman numbers yet.
So Michael Pittman.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
tough
Michael
to say.
Pittman.
I think you're
I
missing
had
a few receivers.
Chris Godwin.
Nah, not Chris Godwin. Not
All
Chris
right, you'd
Godwin.
have CD over Chris Godwin. Okay, I'm thinking because I know I'm missing a couple big guys. Jalen Waddle. This is a tough one. I think I would go CD on this, but
CD for now, yeah.
okay. Devonta Smith.
CD.
CD. I feel like I'm forgetting a big name. I feel like I'm forgetting a big name. Deontay Johnson.
Oh man,
That's actually tough.
I think
I'll give you
CD has
that one's a tough one. You'll take
CD has
CD?
more upside. Yeah.
Okay. Um. Gabriel Davis,
Oh, CD.
CD. Uh, Mike Williams,
CD.
Jerry Judy,
CD.
Hunter Renfro,
CD.
All
CD.
right. Well, it looks like we found the line, didn't we?
DJ Moore.
You know I like DJ Moore.
I know you like DJ Moore. I'm trying to find out where Ceedee Lamb, because he said
Okay.
borderline elite, and right now
I
he
would
has CD
also
at 16.
I would take Calvin Ridley over CD Lamb.
You would take Calvin Ridley? Okay, I was about to bring him up. I was going through the divisions.
What do you
So
think
you're
about
taking?
that?
Are you taking? I would take Ridley over CD. I would take Ridley. Are you taking DJ over CD?
I might, because DJ puts up similar numbers with a crappy quarterback for the past
way
4
worse
years.
with way worse quarterback play, with way worse coaching. If
Yeah,
you're
but
doing that puts CD at 18.
I
We're
think
even gonna
that's
see if he's in. We're gonna see if he's in your 20. I'm not done going. I'm not done going through teams.
shoot.
No one on that. No one in that division. You definitely have CD over Darnell Mooney.
Yeah,
Imagine you had Amon Ra St. Brown.
CD.
Don't even.
Haven't seen
I was
enough.
about to say. Okay, that's all the guys I can think. So right now you have CD at 18, and you still think that's a borderline elite receiver?
What do you think? What do you think that is? I think that's like
I wouldn't say that's borderline, because if we're going elite receiver, I think there are like 6 right now. I would say Adams, Jefferson, Cup, Tyreek Hill, Diggs, and Chase are the elite receivers. But then for you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 other receivers separating what I would call the elite 6 and Ceedee Lamb. So I wouldn't really call him, in your eyes, borderline elite. I don't think he's borderline elite, but I think I have him somewhere between 12 and 15.
okay, that's fair.
Okay. So what you're coming out of this is that CeeDee Lamb is barely a top 20 receiver, because you almost picked T. Higgins and you almost picked Chris Godwin. So that would make CD a borderline top 20 receiver in your eyes.
Yeah, that's
So,
correct.
okay. Ethan, I'm sorry we had to sit you through that
Look,
of just the CD slander.
He's 23, right? I know
Pretty
that
old.
there's Justin Jefferson, who's also 23, I believe, but
Defend CD.
it's his 3rd year in the league, right? I think it's gonna
Yeah.
be okay. I think he will be.
Fourth year.
No, it's his 3rd.
No, it's his 4th.
Are you sure?
He's not the same. I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's his 3rd year.
He's the same draft class as Jefferson. I was
So
wrong.
it's
My bad.
I think it'll be okay.
Oh my god.
He's still 23. He's still gonna be in the league for hopefully 10 years, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
I'm not gonna sweat it. And plus, how much do I care? I'm just rooting for my
Yeah.
OU guys. It's up to him to be the best he could be. It's just sad, you know. These guys I root for, I have to sit through the slander. But I don't think you guys are wrong.
I'm upset about the Dak injury. I'm upset that Dak got hurt, because I would have loved to see a great Dak and CD season. For them to make it an argument, are they the best quarterback receiver duo in football? They're not. They're not. But I think it would have been fun to see that. But now Dak's going to be out probably 6 weeks. Now Cooper Rush is throwing to CD. I'm probably more upset because CD was my 2nd-round pick on our fantasy league. It's upsetting. But we'll get through it.
Okay, let
I
me
think that's
let me
all.
defend it real quick. Because I feel like people are probably gonna think I'm just slandering CD for no reason. But I'm gonna pull out the stats real quick. So Justin Jefferson, he had 11 targets last week. He caught 9 of them, almost 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ethan, I want you to guess how many balls CD caught out of 11 targets he got from Dak Prescott last week.
My heart says 8.
He caught 2.
Fuck.
2 balls for 20-something yards.
How
It
many
was
of those?
bad. It was really
How many of those hit his hands? I know you don't have that number, but like, did a lot of them like were they drops or were they out of his range?
I didn't watch that game. That was a terrible Sunday night game.
Okay.
It was. I watched some of it. It was partial. Dak was very inaccurate. I'll give you the benefit on the doubt.
Okay.
Dak was incredibly inaccurate, but it also didn't look like Ceedee was getting really good separation at all or really trying.
I mean,
It was really disappointing as someone who really likes Ceedee Lamb, like I do. I really like Ceedee Lamb. He just did not. The two of them did not look like they were ready to play.
if
And they
you're
played-
supposed to
they-
be
yeah, it did
an
not
elite
look like they were
or
ready.
an elite receiver in the NFL, I know you have to catch more than 2 throws on 11, attempts or whatever. But it's week 1, right? Hopefully it evens itself out. But you did list a bunch of names, and there weren't a lot of them where I was like, I think Ceedee Lamb is above that yet. But I think it'll even itself out eventually.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that
It's also
if you're supposed to be elite,
perspective.
you have to do better than that as well. So it's
Right. I don't think Ceedee's elite. Is he the wide receiver one? Yeah. They got rid of Amari Cooper, so he could be the one. Cooper, that's someone I forgot. Ceedee is better than Amari Cooper. I don't think that's a hot take. Aaron, do you think Cooper's better than Ceedee?
If Amari Cooper wasn't injured and he actually got targeted the ball, I think he would be better. But obviously he doesn't
Okay.
get that same volume, so I just think Amari's route running, he's more talented, but CeeDee's more athletic.
I like the route running. I like the route running on Amari better. Out of the guys that you said though that you think are better than Ceedee, I think Ceedee's better than DJ Moore, Michael Pittman, Keenan Allen.
My
I
question
think
to
it
you is,
stops. That's crazy. I didn't think I had. I thought I would have had Ceedee top 15. I don't think I do. I think I have him at 16 then.
it just
Because I'd rather have
depends
Debo, Hopkins. I'd rather have Ceedee than DK. I'll say I'd rather have Ceedee than DK.
it depends on what
I'd
you
rather have
consider
Michael Thomas. Yeah,
is an
I guess.
elite
I'd
receiver.
take Ridley. I'd take Ridley at like when Ridley was playing. I would take Ridley over Ceedee right now. But I think Ceedee definitely has potential to be top 10 to pass guys like Terry McLaurin, Debo Samuel, AJ Brown, Mike Evans. He just definitely has the potential. But I don't feel like he's going to do it this year, especially with not having Dak for 6 weeks.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, I don't know how we're going to transition this, but Ethan has a fun story
all right.
where we give him
Sure,
we give
dude.
we talk about the NFL. We give Ethan knowledge, and then he gives us fun story. We're
Are
ready.
y'all familiar with Scott Frost?
No.
Sounds so familiar.
Okay, you guys are gonna love this. So
Okay.
Scott Frost was a quarterback in Nebraska in the late '90s when Nebraska was really good, right? He went to the NFL, bounced around, didn't really do a lot. I'm looking at his Wikipedia page. It doesn't even have his NFL stats on here. But he started coaching in college, and he worked his way up eventually to being the offensive coordinator at Oregon, and he coached Marcus Mariota, and they went to the national championship. After this, he was there for 3 years. He had a 33-8 record as the offensive coordinator and ranked among. I'm reading off of Wikipedia here. Every year he ranked among the nation's top 6 teams in scoring offense and total offense. UCF is a group of 5 school in Florida, and they had a
Right.
coach for like 15 years, and he quit. Or no, yeah, he quit after starting 0-8, and that team went 0-12. Frost comes in and he had the team go 6-6. They went to a bowl game and they lost. The next year after that, they went undefeated, 13-0. So 2 years removed from going 0-12, with half of the same team essentially went 13-0. But they missed the playoffs and they finished 6th ranking wise. And because they won everything and they beat an Auburn team who beat Alabama, who won the championship that year, they claimed a national championship.
Mm-hmm.
At
I
this
remember this
time,
now. It's starting to be familiar.
Nebraska, they fired their coach, and everyone was like, it's going to be Scott Frost, because Scott Frost is really good at coaching. If he could turn around an 0-13 team, or an 0-12 team, to go undefeated in 2 years, let's hire him, because he's a Nebraska guy. So, Nebraska hires Scott Frost, and they announce that one of these days, leading into the season would be Scott Frost Day. Scott Frost loses the first 6 games at Nebraska.
Oh my God.
And
Dang.
let me look over
Scott
here.
Frost Day.
They went 4-8 that year. They did not win until October.
Damn.
They lost to
Jeez.
Troy at home. Have you heard of Troy before?
Yes.
Okay, they're not a big school, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not very good.
And yeah, they didn't get their first win till October, which made Scott Frost Day a meme, where every day was Scott Frost Day until they got a home win, which wasn't until October of that year.
Damn.
Next year they went 5-7. Still rebuilding.
A little better. A little better. A little better than the previous.
COVID year they went 3-5. Last year they went 3-9.
Damn.
Now I forgot to emphasize, when this guy went to Nebraska, these Nebraska fans were like, we are going to win 4 national championships with this guy. Their expectations were through the roof. The Omaha, what are they called, journalists, made a book, like a fan fiction, about Scott Frost going to Nebraska and winning championships and stuff like that, going undefeated. It's year 4.
Oh my God.
They went 3-9, and where's the stat? Hang on. No, this year was insane. This was like a total crazy thing last year. All of their games, they lost by 1 possession or less.
Oh my God.
Lost by 8, lost by 7, lost by 3, lost by 3, lost by 3,
Dang.
lost by 5, lost by 9, lost by 7, lost by 7.
Jeez. So they're in games.
Yes.
They're in games then.
They played number 3 Oklahoma. Now OU did not play very well last year. They finished highly but didn't play very well. They lost to them 16-23. But they went 3-9, and every single game was close. Usually they would either have a lead and blow it, or they would be on a run or like on a drive to go up ahead, and then they would throw an interception or something like that. So over the start of the year, they kept him, but they dropped his salary by $1 million and also decreased his buyout.
Dang.
Let me see how they're doing this year. The first game of the season for anybody, they played week 0. They played in Ireland and they lost to Northwestern by... Oh crap, I clicked on the wrong link. Give me a minute. They lost by 3 points. And then they beat an FCS team last week. And then they lost to a Sun Belt team that was in the FCS a decade ago, Georgia Southern, by 3 at home. Scott Frost was fired. Now here's the deal.
As expected.
Here's the deal. 3 weeks from now, if they fired him, they would have had to pay $7.5 million less. But they were so mad at him that they paid $7.5 million extra dollars to fire him 3 weeks early.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That
Money
is
management.
awful.
They play Oklahoma
The
tomorrow
tragedy of Scott Frost. The
So
tragedy
much
of
with an
Scott
money.
interim
Frost.
coach.
God dang. That's
Now, I'm kind of worried about this game now because if this interim coach figures something out and beats OU, I'm actually gonna piss myself.
he knows something that Scott Frost didn't know.
I don't know, but it is an interim coach who has had no experience being a head coach since coaching at Langston a decade ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they are an NAIA school, but it's an interim coach, and Nebraska
Interim
has a
coaches
lot
are
of
kinda
money.
fun.
That's the deal. I know Urban
Interim
Meyer
coaches
sucks.
are pretty fun.
Urban Meyer sucks both off the field and in the NFL, but he's pretty good in college. People are thinking he could go to Nebraska. That's the kind of stuff, like money that Nebraska pulls. But
Mm-hmm.
the hype that Scott Frost had and the fact that he went 3-9 in year 4, and then they kept him for an extra year because he was a Nebraska guy, and there were people who were still defending him because they're like, just give him one more chance, he's a Nebraska guy. But here's the thing about Nebraska. You don't get a lot of athletic guys from that area, right? You get your
Right.
your
Yeah.
big beefy boys. And Nebraska tries to run a West Coast offense because that's what's cool. But that's not what ever made Nebraska good. They need to run the ball like Iowa or like the other Big Ten teams that do well. They can't be playing like a USC or a Florida because they can't get those players. But Scott Frost wanted to run that kind of offense, and clearly it didn't work. So that's the story of Scott Frost. I'm glad I could tell you guys that.
Scott Frost. That was a fun story.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Now after our NFL Week 1 takeaways are done, and we listened to a very fun story about Scott Frost, we have a little bit of the season to be able to kind of predict how it's going to end. I'm thinking next week we get our NFL award predictions. But for this week, to end off this episode, we are going to announce our own Super Bowl predictions 1 week into the season. Aaron, do you want to kick us off?
I have a repeat Super Bowl. It's going to be your QB1 Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs versus, sorry Ethan, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers again. I just think the Chiefs have the most experience in the playoffs. Josh Allen, he's going to choke again. Well, he never choked. The Bills defense choked.
Oh, he had like
I
the
know.
best
I know.
playoff grade ever. That playoff run
I
was
know.
the best grade the quarterback's ever had in the
My
playoffs.
bad.
It was his
My
defensive
fault.
soul.
My fault.
You can't be coming at Josh Allen like that with me here, dude.
I know. But I just think the Chiefs, so much experience. They made it literally to the championship game. They're going to be there again. I think the harder pick is the NFC because there's only you can't even pick the Packers. You can't pick the Rams or the Saints. Rams are not going to repeat. 49ers, Trey Lance is too young. He's not going to know how to deal with that situation. It's just the obvious and safest pick is Tom Brady in the NFC. What about you, Baylor?
For me, this is for the AFC. Again, it's super tough. There's so many good teams in the AFC. I don't want the Chiefs in it again. I do think they're a really talented team, and you could make an argument for 8 AFC teams to make it. But I'm really liking what I saw this offseason and what I've seen so far. Even though they're 1-1, I really like the Los Angeles Chargers this year, especially with seeing how Justin Herbert's able to handle injury and handle pressure, and in big moments, he shines. If he was in that playoffs last year, if Raiders and Chargers would have tied like they should have, I think he could have made a deep playoff run already with that team who had not a great offensive line and not a good defense. Now the offensive line looks slightly better, still not great, but his weapons look really good. That defense looks really good. Crack has looked like an absolute monster in these 2 weeks. They don't have J.C. Jackson back yet, but
he played.
Come playoff time. Oh, he played last
and he got burned. He let up a touchdown.
Damn. Well, we'll say it'll take him the rest of the year to get back. I'm going to pick the Chargers. I think Bills looked better in week 1, and we haven't seen 2 yet. But my preseason prediction, I'm going to stick with all my preseason prediction now. I had the Chargers from the NFC. This is the first year in a while where it seemed right and okay to pick the Minnesota Vikings to make it into the Super Bowl. Last year, they didn't make the playoffs. They fired GM, their head coach. They got Kevin O'Connell, who's created an incredible scheme for Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson's emerged as the wide receiver 1. This offensive line looks better than it did last year, and this defense looks incredible, and it did not look good at all last year. Harrison Phillips, Zadarius Smith, great ads. They got Patrick Peterson back. They were able to keep Danielle Hunter on a team-friendly deal. I don't see many. The only glaring weakness on this team is winners, but then you have Harrison Smith off the top, and Patrick Peterson is a very experienced guy. They didn't really have any fast corners, but I think that's the only actual spot of weakness on this team. So I'm taking the Chargers and the Vikings to make it into the Super Bowl. Ethan, what's your picks?
Can we play a game? What is the worst team that is socially acceptable to pick to win the Super Bowl right now?
From AFC or NFC?
We'll start with AFC. Texans.
Raiders?
I'm going to go in order.
Don't have...
If I say I think the Texans will win the Super Bowl, how do you guys react?
No.
Okay.
Dumb.
Jets.
No.
Okay. Jags.
No.
No. Unfortunately, no.
Browns.
No.
Patriots.
They're not. They can't. They have no shot. No.
No.
Patriots aren't
Steelers.
making the playoffs.
No.
No.
Dolphins.
No.
Titans.
No.
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 Raiders.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Raiders.
Okay.
All right, and how many AFC teams are above them? Chiefs, Bills, Chargers, Ravens, Broncos, Bengals, Colts. So that's like they're like the 7th best team in the AFC.
I say they have better odds than the Colts. I think the
Yeah.
Raiders have better odds than the Colts.
I agree.
Okay. So the Raiders are the
I
worst.
would also put the Raiders over the Bengals. I'd put the Raiders over the Bengals.
Interesting.
Ooh.
See, now we're going to start other debates. How do you put the Raiders above the Bengals?
You can't disrespect Bengals
What
like that. They
they've-
just made it. They just made it.
I'd put the Raiders over the Bengals right now. Right now, I would.
Who did the
They proved
Bengals
me
lose?
On honestly, they just got better, but they were not a high seed going into the playoffs. They had a lot of luck in the playoffs.
Aren't they a
Raiders
young
got
team?
so much better than they were. Well, I mean, yeah, they have young pieces.
Okay, so they're
I would
only
put the
gonna get
Raiders over
better?
the Bengals. I would put the Raiders over the Bengals. I think the Bengals are missing the playoffs.
I don't
All
know
my
about
AFC wildcard teams are from the AFC West. I have the Raiders, the Chiefs, and the Broncos all as my wildcard teams. I have the Bengals missing the playoffs. I have them going 10-7, but I have them missing the playoffs.
Okay, well,
So you're picking Raiders. So do you want us to?
I
go
don't know
through-
if
do you
I'm
wanna go
picking
through the
them, but
NFC
I
teams?
just want. I don't think I'm even going to make any picks. I'm okay with being wrong. But here's the deal. I just want to know what is the worst teams that are socially acceptable to pick as
I'd say
contenders.
probably Raiders.
okay?
I'd say if you pick Bengals, you're the AFC team that wasn't it last year. I personally think the Raiders are better, but
Yeah.
I think socially acceptable, Raiders would be lower than Bengals right now. And but I do think the Raiders have a shot. They
Okay,
definitely
y'all
have a
ready
shot.
for NFC then?
Aaron is a sleepy boy over there.
Yeah, I told
Yeah,
you.
I'm ready. I'm ready for NFC.
Okay, Falcons,
No.
Bears,
No.
Seahawks.
No.
But
No.
they got to win. Just kidding.
Don't matter.
That doesn't
Um,
matter. It's 1 week. It's 1 week.
Lions,
No.
No.
Panthers,
No.
No.
Giants,
No.
No.
Commanders,
No.
No.
Saints.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yes.
I
yes,
think they
yes.
can make the playoffs, but I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender.
Okay.
Well, it's like what did you say it was? The most acceptable worst
Yeah,
team.
what is like an acceptable
Yeah,
Saints.
but I
team
don't
to
think
say?
I don't think the Saints are acceptable as a Super Bowl contender.
Okay.
Okay, Baylor. Fine.
I think they're borderline playoff team. I have them missing the playoffs. I think they're going to go 9-8. I think it's 8 or 9 or 9-8. I had them.
Do you want me to keep going?
Sure.
Yeah.
Cardinals.
No.
No. Saints are better than the Cardinals. The Cardinals are not very good at all.
Eagles.
Most
No.
definitely. But I think they're
Wow.
what? No. You
Hey,
are saying the Saints
you know what?
have a
Can we
better
argue
chance
something
than
real
the
quick?
Eagles?
Yes.
Saints versus Cardinals in the conference finals. Who do you guys have?
What?
So you're saying who we think's better?
If I have the Saints versus the Eagles in the conference finals, who is going to the Super
Saints
Bowl?
versus Eagles.
Saints.
Argue.
No.
Argue.
No.
That Saints defense
I
is
don't
insane.
I don't want to make this episode like an hour and 20 minutes.
Okay.
I don't want to get into another argument.
We're at
about-
55
we're
right
almost
now.
Already, yeah, I don't want to get into an. Okay, dude, the Eagles just have an all-around better team, and they have better coaching. They have a quarterback with more talent. They have better weapons. They have a better offensive line. Lane Johnson's probably the best tackle, one of the best.
You're
tackles
speaking
in
my
the league.
language. You're hyping up Hurts and Lane Johnson. Let's go.
And did Lane Johnson go to?
Yes, he
OU?
did.
And this defense, yeah, okay. Right now, the Saints' defense is better, but look at what the Eagles have. They have Darius Slay, Jordan Davis. They have oh my God, what is his name? The Gardner guy who was on the Saints, who's now their number 2 corner. They don't have a Son Reddick because Son Reddick got hurt, but I think this Eagles team is more talented. Who has a better resume? The Saints have a better resume, but this team is way more talented.
How do the
The Saints
Saints have
almost
a
lost
better
the Falcons.
resume if the Eagles won the Super Bowl?
not the team, not the franchise,
Okay.
the actual team. Like the players on the team right now, the Saints have a better resume of
Okay.
players. But I think the Eagles are better, and I think they have better coaching.
If we're talking Super Bowl, you can't make a deep playoff run without a quarterback that can throw, and you can't win the Super Bowl if you can't throw. We saw it with the 49ers. So the Eagles are basically an off-brand 49ers. Just keep running the ball, have that one wide receiver one in Debo and AJ
That's
Brown.
actually fair. But
And it's like,
I think I don't think the Eagles like. Do the Eagles and Saints play each other? Do they play each other? Are they on each other's record? Like
Are we all gonna check this?
I am.
Okay.
I mean, Jalen
We'll
Hurts,
see when they play if they play each other this year.
he can't throw. Not yet. And he just...
January 1st, New Year's Day, they play. We'll watch that game and we'll
Watch
see
it
who the
together.
better team is.
We're gonna forget this conversation, but this is fun.
No, we won't. We're putting this down.
Okay.
The Eagles are a better team. So, but
No.
are you gonna? I think you could get worse than the Eagles though, as a team that would make the Super Bowl in the NFC.
You want me to keep going then?
Yes,
Okay.
because I don't think the Saints have a shot, and then I think the Eagles should probably be a top 4 contender.
Next up is the Vikings.
Jalen Hurts, bro.
Vikings most definitely have a shot.
But here's the deal. I think I'm going to go with the Eagles because someone found it socially acceptable. So I'm going to go with Eagles, and I would pick the Saints because they're lower, but also I like the Eagles more than the Saints because they have more OU guys. But
Flipping off Aaron, not you, Ethan.
I'll go with Eagles Raiders as my chaos playoff, or as my chaos Super Bowl. It's not going to happen,
Raiders,
but
Ethan's Bowl.
if I'm right on this, that'll be hilarious.
I don't say never. Remember like 3 years ago when you spun the wheel and you became a Raiders fan for a year?
Yeah,
And they were like
I never
awful.
watched
They're
a
like one of the
game.
worst teams.
Dude, I'm glad.
That's crazy.
Spinning the wheel is fun, but I don't even care.
Raiders Eagles isn't bad. Raiders Eagles isn't at all bad. It'd be a crazy Super Bowl, but it isn't bad.
I think it is pretty
So
bad.
I have the Vikings. I have the Vikings and the Chargers, and I mean, if I'm going to put my team in the Super Bowl, I'm going to have them winning. That's a little bit of bias. I'm going to have the Vikings winning. Aaron, you have the Chiefs and the Buccaneers. Who do you have winning?
Chiefs.
And Ethan, you have the Raiders and Eagles. Who do you have winning?
Who cares? Eagles,
You have to pick. Just
Eagles
pick one.
in a stupid
Eagles.
game.
Eagles. Go Birds. Go Birds. And also, it's the Always Sunny in Philadelphia team.
I did just think about
so
that.
You can cheer for them that way. Yeah. Awesome. We got our takeaways. We got our Super Bowl picks. Next week we'll come back with our NFL awards predictions: MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, the whole gore, as well as Week 2 takeaways. But Aaron, Ethan, do y'all have anything else?
Go Birds.
Go Birds, I guess.
R.I.P. Queen Elizabeth.
Rest in piss, bozo.
We don't need to do it 2 weeks in a row, Aaron. We don't need to
Ratio.
Do it 2 weeks in a row.
Queen Elizabeth.
That will be episode 9 of the BAE Sports Podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Have a good good afternoon, good evening, or good night, whatever time it is for you. And outro.